Hey guys, what is up? And welcome back to the channel. So, if you didn't know, the Cowboys and the Steelers played each other in the Hall of Fame game. So they just finished the game a little under an hour ago. I took my cousin home and I recorded Omno. So, I'm going to talk about this game, give my thoughts on how I believe the Steelers did. So we are going to pop over there. So we'll talk about the three quarterbacks first. Dwayne Haskins, 8 of 13 for 54. Mason Rudolph, 6 of 9 for 84. Josh Dobbs, 4 of 6 for 37 and a touchdown. So I heard Mason was really struggling in training camp. He didn't make horrifically bad throws. There was one throw where he kind of put Chase in danger a little bit of being hit by the safety. And I think he overthrew a receiver. And God, I don't know what the other incompletion was. Maybe it was a throwaway. I think he had a throwaway because he was being chased. So, struggle? No. I mean, you're playing some Cowboys first team, first string guys. Jalen Smith was out there. I saw the rookie Micah Parsons. Who else? Who else did I see? Trying to think if there are any. I don't believe Randy Gregory played, but I did see him on the sideline. So, a few guys that were first teams. We can even look right here on defense. Let's see. Jabril, the 4th round pick. He wasn't until later in the game, though. Let's see. Kelvin Joseph, he was a 2nd round pick, I believe. Azur Kamara, I wonder... does anyone know if he's actually related to Alvin? Keanu Neal, who was brought over from Atlanta. And that's it that I know of. That's like a, like a veteran or first string guy. So, as far as how Mason did, meh. But then again, Mason, it's his 4th year in the league. Throughout his 4 years, I've learned that he plays a certain way. Meh. That's Mason. He's meh. He'll make a career out of being a backup on 4, 5, 6 different teams, and he'll play 10 years in the league. 10, 15 years being a backup on 4 or 5 teams. That's literally going to be Mason's career. He'll play some games, and that'll be it. Either, rest the starters, or the starting quarterback's hurt. Then on to Dwayne. Dwayne was reportedly lighting it up in camp. He had like 6 throws of 20 yards or more so far in training camp. It got to this point where, yeah, you're kind of paying attention. He had a couple of runs. He actually had 2 runs for 4 yards. Mason had 1 run for 0 yards. So he had a couple of runs. Overall, he played okay. That's the thing. The backups aren't playing amazing. But they're not playing like hot garbage. Josh Dobbs, he ran a little bit. You can see he actually... Did he have a rush? Oh. You know what? He lost the ball, so it probably didn't count. But, he ran around. He tried to escape a little bit. He has the mobility to do it. We'll talk about the running backs now. Najee, finally got to see him in a Steelers uniform. That's not a jersey swap. And it's not training camp. You actually saw jersey, pads, helmet, the whole shot. the thing I've been waiting for, the past 6 or 8 months, I finally got. So, yeah, probably like the last 6 months or so. The thing I've been waiting for. Jalen Samuels. Najee ran pretty well. Couple times he took guys with him. He caught a couple passes too, didn't he? 1 for 3. Okay. So, it wasn't like a stellar, day for him, but 3.1 yards a carry. If you average 3 yards a carry, 1, 2, 3, it's 4th and 1. You run the ball again. You're averaging 3 yards. What do you get? A first down. So I will literally take 3 yards a carry. I will. And plus, like, the offensive line, you have the rookie Green at center. Okay? Kevin Dotson didn't play. Chukwuma Okorafor and Zach Banner didn't play. And I don't think Trey Turner played. I could be wrong. I don't think he played, though. It was literally the second stringers on the offensive line. So, I know Eric Ebron, he's not much of a blocker, but he didn't play. Freiermuth, the second-round pick, he didn't play. So at that point, you're playing Zach Gentry, who's still a little banged up, and then you're playing Kevin Rader. J-Sam, yeah, I think J-Sam's going to lose his roster spot, to be completely honest with you. And he's going to lose it to Kalen Ballage. He is. So I like the way Ballage played tonight. He had the touchdown, 5 for 19, average of 3.8. I like the way he played. Did you catch any? Let's see, 29, 29, 29. He did not. Okay. Anthony McFarland Jr., Ant-Man. 3 of 9, or 3 for 9, I should say, which averages 3 yards. He caught a couple. I know he did. 1 for 6 yards. Okay. So, again, he's one of those guys. I'm trying to think. He didn't return. He was on return team, but he didn't make any returns, I don't believe. Well, we can double check that. He did not return at all. Dwayne, here I got the run. We talked about that. Ray got 2 yards on an end around, and Mason. So, we'll move on to the receivers. Chase, he got a little dinged up on a long pass, I think from Mason. I think it was from Mason. So he went 3 of 6 for 62. That's he's leaving off. He's starting where he left off, being the big play receiver. 6'4", he runs 4'4". Like, he's the run and keep on going until you get the ball. He did get banged up, but later in the game, you see him like celebrating for the second, third, fourth string guy. So I think he's fine. He should be good to go. Anthony Johnson. So he actually went to UB, and I did too. I was at UB the same time he was. I saw him play for 1 year at UB, along with Tyree Jackson. He's a tight end for the Eagles now, even though he was the quarterback at UB. 6'7", so he's got the size for tight end. He did have a fumble. He did. He made the fumble recovery on special teams. So he coughed it up, but Isaiah McCoy. Yep, right there. 17. He bailed him out there by recovering it. And then he recovered the fumble. So I'm not going to let him off completely for the fumble. Got to hold on to it. But he did get the fumble on the punt. So, I mean, that shows awareness. He was the first guy there as the gunner. Could he fight for that 6th wide receiver spot? Maybe, but he'll probably end up being practice squad. Trey Edmonds, he's a running back. He had 2 catches for 22. Not much to say about him. I don't know if he's going to make the roster. Probably not, if I had to guess. Deontay, did he have a drop? He might have had a drop. But he also had a couple really nice catches. There was one, I think it was his first catch from Mason. And he held on to it. He got extra yardage. I was happy with that pass because it was a bit of a zoom. Kevin, good job stepping in with the other tight ends hurt. 1 for 15. I mean, let's face it. He's fighting for the number 3 spot with Zach. So, Ray, 2 for 12. Ray, he didn't do much in this game. Don't know if that's by design or what. Anthony McFarland, 1 for 6. We already talked about him. Already talked about J-Sam. Taylor Simmons caught the 1 touchdown. Rico, again, 1 catch. Najee, 1 catch. Marcus had a drop. Zach had a drop, I think. Isaiah McCoy, he recovered the fumble. Matthew Sexton we'll talk about when we talk about returns. And James Washington, he definitely had a drop. I do remember that. Miles Killebrew, the safety, led the team with tackles at 6. Then James Pierre, Justin Lane, Robert Spillane, Cassius Marsh, who also forced a fumble. He got a sack. Alex Highsmith got a sack. Let's see. Marcus Allen, he had a nice pass breakup. I do remember that. Let's see what else. Bugs, he got a roughing the passer. Donovan got a nice pick. That was a good pick by him. Roche, he was kind of fast off the line. Though, I gotta say, seeing 48, I'm like, oh, it's not Bud anymore. Brooks, he actually had a couple nice blitzes. Just like Mike Hilton used to do. So, he's competing for that nickel spot. Who else? Let's see. Trey Norwood, he almost had a pick. It was a great defensive play by the wide receiver. And, okay. So we'll talk about Sexton. 1 return for a punt for 36 yards. So, I mean, he almost broke it too. Mike Tomlin said something, but I think he said it to Ray. Just to be clear, I think he said it to Ray. But this still applies to Sexton. Tomlin, along the line, said he's never seen a player get cut that returned a punt or kickoff for a touchdown in the preseason. Anyone who's returned a punt or a kickoff in the preseason for a touchdown, he has never seen get cut. So, he almost brought this. So, this is good. If he can keep doing this, he has the speed, he has the ability. If he can keep doing it, he'll earn a roster spot just for this. Also, his name's spelled the same as mine. My name's Matthew. It's Mathew. It's 1 T, not 2. I really hope he makes the team. Samuel, you're a camp leg, my dude. I said this during the depth chart review. You're a camp leg. Okay? Don't get too excited here, buddy. Presley. Let's talk about this man. 2 punts I want to bring up. The first one might have been his first punt. So, when he kicks it, it goes, obviously. And it gets inside the 10, gets inside the 5. I think it lands inside the 5, bounces. Anthony Johnson, which he made this play kind of too, he tips it back towards like the 5 area. You know, he's tapping it away from the end zone very lightly, and he himself hasn't stepped on the line. That's the thing. You're allowed to be over the line. If you step on the line, if you touch the line, you're screwed. He did not step on. He did not touch. He just lightly went, boop. and that kept the ball in play, in the field of play at the 1. So beautiful, 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 beautiful punt by Harvin. And then a nice play by Anthony Johnson just to be sure it doesn't go into that end zone. Actually, I'll talk about 3 punts. 1, it bounced just out of bounds at the 11. So that was a nice punt too. Again, your mark, as long as you get him inside the 20. Otherwise, there's no point in just punting through the back of the end zone. They'll end up at the 20. So as long as you're inside the 20, you did your job. And the coverage did its job. And then his 3rd punt that I want to talk about. Now, I said this to my cousin. I know he didn't do it on purpose. To do that on purpose, you're a Hall of Fame punter right now. Literally, to do this on purpose, you are a Hall of Fame punter right now. The play, Anthony Johnson recovered the fumble. So, a football, it's not a perfect sphere, obviously. It's not a soccer ball. It's not a basketball, tennis ball, volleyball. It's not a perfect sphere. So, when it hits the ground, you don't know what it's going to do. That's why when punting, and if it lands inside the 5 or inside the 10, it could go right through the back of the end zone, or it could bounce straight up in the air, and you catch it at the 3-yard line, you know? So, when it hits the ground, it bounce, 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 and then it takes one bounce, and where it hit the ground, it just goes that little bit higher, hits 16, I believe it was, for the Cowboys, in the chest, instead of here in his arms, bounces out, and that's what allows Johnson to recover. So, I mean, that's luck. It literally is luck. Now that we're done talking about individual players, we're going to talk about the team as a whole. For most of the game, the team, they were down 3-0. And then they scored, a field goal, 2 touchdowns, and before you know it, it's 16-3. And they missed an extra point, which is why it wasn't 17. As a whole, the offense did okay. Like I said, Anthony Johnson had a fumble. I mean, there were no interceptions, which is very, very nice. You'll love to see that. Running was okay. And passing was okay. So, it's the Steelers', second, third string guys mostly. Juju didn't play. Claypool played. Najee played. Deontay played. Those are guys who are going to be big contributors on offense. I didn't see Derek Watt at all. I saw him on special teams, not on offense. So, not even blocking. So, offense, they did okay. The defense. Yes, you only allowed 3 points. But there were plays where it was, where the hell are you in terms of covering your man? The Cowboys found open guys. There was a play, 2 players went after the quarterback and completely left an offensive player wide open. One should chase the quarterback, one should chase the player. So, there was a couple little things like that. Overall, though, I was impressed with a couple of players and how they played. A couple of their breakups. I thought James Pierre had a couple nice breakups. Mark Gilbert had a couple nice ones as well. Overall, It's preseason. It's the Hall of Fame game. It's the second and third and fourth and fifth, and guys who aren't gonna make the team and may not make any team. And, you know, this is their football career. Literally their football career. So overall, you know, congrats. You won. It doesn't mean much of anything, but it was still good to see. It was nice to watch football. And, yeah. Moving on to the next preseason game, I guess. Find out what you liked, what you didn't like, who you liked, who you didn't, and start from there. Start the process of cutting down to 53. So if you guys enjoy this, please leave a like. And your channel, please hit the subscribe button and turn notifications on. See all you guys next video. Later.
Once I was 7 years old, Mama told me, go make yourself some friends or you'll be lonely. Once I was 7 years